Can you hear me now? Are we up and running? I can't tell. Everything looks okay from this end. We're up, are we? Good, good. Good morning. I'm late. Look at that. Almost 1 minute late. Nanda. Chicken Meister's starting to panic me too. No, I've been sitting here. I've been sitting here for 15, 20 minutes getting ready. The mics are all ready. That's the problem though. When I'm early and I sit here, I can't, didn't start carving, but I was looking at the computer instead of the time. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Do we get a late pass? Do I get a late pass? I'm the one that's late, not you guys. That's the garbage truck down there, the white truck. He's on his alternate truck. He has 3 different trucks he uses. There must be a team, it must be a company, and they no idea how they decide who gets which truck which day. Another hot day coming up in Sussex, I think. Just back from the pool. What's that? Ah, soka. It's a carbonated drink, and they're warning about it'll spray when you open it. Do you really have to warn people about that? It's been opened. It's not going to... My God, is that a requirement now? You have to warn people that it's a carbonated drink? I hope not. It's, what is it? Actually, I just picked it almost at random. It's what does it say? Okinawa Shikwasa Soda. I don't know. I don't even I recognize that it's some kind of Okinawa fruit, I guess. Do you know what it is? Shikwasa soda. Somebody's got it? Chikwasa. I'm sorry, I don't know. It's new to me. I've been to Okinawa only at the airport on a drop through. Sadako and I went down to, where did we go? Ishigaki-jima or something like this, one of the South Islands. And we stopped in the airport at Okinawa. But I've never been to Okinawa as far as poking around and enjoying it. And I have relatives there. My daughter's aunt lives in Okinawa. They're Japanese aunt. They have no Western aunts. Oh, they have no, yeah, of course they do. Okay, carving day today. Back to the knife. The block is coming along very, very well. I started, where did I start? Down here somewhere. Worked my way around and up. Then yesterday started moving this way. So we're going to continue working. We're sort of okay for time. We're not really on time. This is the print that has to be shipped the 1st of September. But given that there's only going to be 3 blocks and the printing will be relatively easy, I'm not panicking yet. Let's keep it aside for a moment because before we start, there's something to open here. Who's this from? This is from Chiharu-san. Chiharu Kawai. It looks like Kubota with that white tape, but it's not. It's a Chiharu Kawai, our printer who lives in Nagano Prefecture. One of the team that came to us from Adachi years and years ago. Not came to us from Adachi, but she trained in her younger years in Adachi, then quit, as so many of them do or did. Then later on heard that we needed printers and came here. Oh, I was going to open this print. You've seen this before. This is not a new print. This is a reprint from our catalog. Very, very, very popular design. Actually, I can tell what's in here just from the shape. I don't think we have any other prints that are this particular shape and size. It's a bit of a stretch to ask you to identify it from that. Paper's not out, Tom. Thank you for asking. There are no printers here today. Again, we're buried in summer holiday stuff. Dei-chan, actually, she is working, but she's working at home. She had a bad cough the other day and didn't want to feel like she was spreading it. So she's working from home, and we're checking with her, and she says she's okay, I'm okay, don't worry, I'm okay. But we don't believe it. But we can't go over there to check on her, so. So Dei-chan's working at home. Ishikawa-san will be, I think, maybe up in their besso, up in their country home, up in her cabin. It's Heron and Iris. Heron and Iris. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful print. Classic, absolutely classic design. It's the embossing, of course, that kills people. People see this in the shop, they pick it up, they like do a double take. What? We've got lights shining down. We know how to do this. We've got lights shining down on the stands. People see this and like they call somebody over. What is this? What is this? You know, we explain what it is, and lots of times people have never seen something like this in real life close up. And it's like this is just normal ukiyo-e type printing. And she's killed it again. She's just killed it. The gradations are exactly the same. We're doing this way better than most of the originals. If you go to ukiyo-e.org and look up this print, you'll find original copies in museums all over the world. British Museum, the Met, Chicago Institute, whatever, you name it. You will find none of them done as beautifully as this. And maybe, the very first copies that were made back in Hiroshige's day were quite beautiful, but very, very soon it just became hackwork. Slap them out, and they didn't care. And you can look this up anywhere you want, and you'll never, ever, ever see copies made as nicely as this, with tasteful gradations. There's even, the veins are there in the leaves. You'll never find copies as beautiful as this. That's kind of a tragedy to me, you know, the people in the museums, the people the curators and stuff in the museums, and the people who go and visit museums. Wow, look at all these old prints, look at all this beautiful old stuff. The ones that are in the museums, for the most part, just can't be helped. They're not beautiful objects anymore. Whereas the ones, people like me and Adachi, whatever, we're making beautiful objects because we can. So it's a real frustration. The modern reproductions get no cred, but they are far and away, well-made modern reproductions are far and away more beautiful and more tasteful and more pleasant than the originals. But they get no, they get no cred for it. Anyway, enough talk. Let's get some work done. Video editing is coming along. Yesterday, after I got back from dinner, I ultimate sacrifice at dinner, I decided not to have a beer with dinner. So when I got back here, I was good to go. So I got my computer and hard drive. It's about 7 o'clock, and I headed over to the work office. We've got a work office here. What's it called? Biz Comfort. I think WeWork is here in Japan, but not nearby us. So I have a nearby drop-in office place. I got a card I can beep on the door. I went over there last night about 7 o'clock and didn't get back till midnight. Alternately working on the video and reading Final Cut Pro tutorials because I'm new to Final Cut Pro. We've been using iMovie for our videos up to now. But it's time to graduate, to move up a little bit and get better color control and stuff like this. So I'm struggling. I have to admit, I'm struggling with Final Cut Pro at the moment. The days when I could just pick up any piece of software and I can figure this out, those days are kind of gone. Dave has changed, and maybe software is a little bit more complicated than it used to be. I don't know. So I alternated. I tried to do something by myself and of course couldn't figure it out. So looked up a YouTube tutorial and back and forth all day between the tutorials, all evening between the tutorials. Could we have the French TV Adachi video as a show and tell one day? Yeah, that would be maybe a great idea. I don't have it teed up now and I would never remember. Drop me an email, please, and I'll, if I get an email, you know, in an off time, I can set that up and get it ready and we can do that. Thanks for the reminder, but remind me in an off time and we can do that. And especially maybe what we could do, Marcella-san, we have a staff member who's very fluent in French. I don't know. Well, maybe it doesn't matter. We can see what's going on. Anyway, yeah. So yesterday's tutorials mostly were about multicam. Because when I was up there in Echizen, when I did the interview with Murata-san, we put 2 cameras up, as well as separate audio. So we have 2 camera views and a separate audio track. And I was learning last night how to handle multicam editing in Final Cut Pro. And I am no expert on it yet, but at least I can do it now. So probably when this video is up, when we get to that section that's done with more than one camera, the interview, people with experience of video editing are going to see it and they're going to think, click, click, Dave. Just because you can switch between 2 cameras doesn't mean you have to all the time. Not quite so often, please. So I'm sure I'm probably going to overdo it. You know, when you're an amateur and you get all the professional tools, you know, you use them because they're there, but it's not perhaps how it should go, you know. So we'll see. I'll try and restrain myself. There's also something else to test this morning, and maybe we might as well just get it out of the way right now. As part of the preparation and testing for some changes that are going to be happening here this summer, with many things, we've got lots of changes coming this summer, bit by bit. I'm gathering materials and tools and stuff. And there's something here this morning to test. You're seeing the view right now through a Handycam camera up at the top here. And the light, of course, you've seen this before. The light is the lamp that's hanging in front of my desk. The only light on the screen, on the work right now, is the light from my light bulb hanging behind the flask. And it works fine. It works fine for me, and it works fine, it seems, for this video. It's maybe a little bit dark, but it does seem natural. It's not enough for better close-up video. As some of you know, a few years back, I was testing the idea of getting a much closer video feed from the workbench here, and I failed because it turns out, this is physics, that the closer you zoom in and the closer you get, the less actual amount of light is available. You know, the light we've got is illuminating the whole surface, but when you zoom in on a tiny part and expect that to fill your camera lens, there's actually not enough light there. So I am experimenting, and today's the first step in that experimentation. I'm experimenting with another light source for this. And as a trial right now, let's do this. Let's try it. Plug it in, turn off that light, and turn on the bright light. Now it's going to take a minute because it's a different color. And now I'm almost blinded. I'm looking down into the view here, and it is bright, bright, bright. I don't know if it actually shows a difference on what you're seeing right now. Because maybe the handy cam there has got an automatic exposure and it's stopping down maybe. The difference is the light is no longer coming sideways. The light is now coming from here. The light is now a ring here shining down on the wood. And I myself don't actually like it because it's now 360 around the lens. It's shining straight directly down onto the wood, and I no longer have shadows down there. Now when the light was a side light, as it was a minute ago, and it will be again in a minute, I have shadows. I have cast light sideways, and I get a much more vivid sense of the three-dimensional aspect of this. But that kind of light is not enough for the new video camera. I guess from your point of view, no difference, kinda. Well, some things do what's best for you. It doesn't really matter. I know. The point being, I know the light that's here now is a test because I have another microscope with a trinocular view, and the idea is that this kind of light, trinocular microscope, camera on the scope, and you see exactly what I see. So we can't set that up yet because I don't have this microscope to switch in and switch out today. But the purpose of trying this new light is if I can stand this, if I can get used to this, if I can learn to use this light, then it means we can start using the other microscope and you will be able to look down through it with me, which I think would be a cool thing, absolutely. But I'm not sure if I myself can get used to this light. Anyway, we're not going to flog it right now, because that's part of the thing we were talking about the other day, about switching to doing some work in the Ome workshop. So the way this might turn out is that this scope will stay here, along with this light. In Ome, my workbench there, we will set that up with the trinocular microscope and this kind of light. So when you see me working in Ome, it'll be down through the scope. When you see me working here in Asakusa, it'll be this view. So that's the way this might be going later on this summer. We'll see how it goes. So now I've put the flask light back on it. And we'll go back to our normal programming for the rest of today's. I tried it with both, and the other one is so bright that down through the lens I can't see any difference. In fact, I can't even tell when the flask light is on or off once the LED lights are on. Anyway, just so you know, we are moving forward, with testing and some upcoming changes. I think I did, look at that, I hope you can see it. I didn't get the curve right there. Can you see that? If you could see what I could see through the top of the microscope, you'd be able to see it. There's a bit of white showing there. We have a show and tell today, something a little bit different. It's a print that I picked up the other day under unusual circumstances. We won't talk about it too much yet. We'll talk about it when we get to it. It'll be an interesting print, and it's got an interesting backstory. A bit unusual for me. I never expected to be able to get a print like this. I'm very, very happy that it's here. So we'll look at that at 9:15 today in today's show and tell. It's a little bit big. It doesn't actually fit on the desk, but because it's broken, as it were, we will be able to look at it on the desk. But it's actually too big. And when I saw it the other day, I'll tell you about the story when we get there, but when I saw it the other day, I'm like, no way, I never, ever expected to be able to get this. Good fun, good fun. I know it's really, really good that my kids are not part of these daily experiences. My kids are not listening to these streams, or they're not part of my daily life, you know, my work here. My two daughters have their own young families, their own projects, their own job. They're not following their dad day by day by day. And it's really good in one sense that they're not. Because if they heard some of these stories and some of these show and tell, they'd be just daily, they'd be thinking, Dad, don't make more obligations. Don't make more stuff. Don't collect more junk. So, they're good kids, but of course, one thing they're worried about with me is that the older I get and the more things I'm doing and the more activities and the more companies I start and whatever, this is all one day going to become a massive, massive problem for them, you know. Whatever, kick the can down the road, and part of me says, it's not my problem. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Just keep pressing on. Keep doing what you're doing. And it's not my problem, because once I'm gone, I won't know anything about this stuff, you know. It'll be somebody else's problem. But then that's not a good approach, is it? So. Anyway, though, I bought more prints the other day, so. It looks dark all of a sudden now and there. Is it something to do with the camera settings? Did I do something wrong? I didn't change the camera. I think it's okay. It's automatic, nah. It brightens and darkens depending on my hand and stuff. It's okay. Gorilla Glue on the socks today. I don't think so. This is not something I would advertise as a hold your socks on. We're going to blow your socks up with something special today. No, it's an interesting print. There's interesting stuff about it. But I'd like to, that meme, I've been overusing it. I'd like to maybe save that for the things that are really, 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 really special. Although I don't know, something that's not so special to me, people end up thinking, oh my God, that was incredible, you know. So. The difference between a collector and a hoarder is organization. To me, the two words, I'm not using the word hoarder. I think there's no hoarding about this. Hoarding is, well, we know what hoarding it is. The two words that I'm more concerned about is collecting and accumulating. And there's a real, we're in both of these. And at the moment, we're accumulating prints. I say we, it's really Dave. We're accumulating prints because we can, because there's lots of stuff available out there at reasonable prices that's not being collected and curated properly. But because as I buy these things, I show them to you, wow, cool, put it away, and I say, I'll get back to you later, and I probably never do, and we never get pictures. At the moment, we're in accumulating mode. There's 10,000 prints here. I don't know the number, But in our collection online, there's only about 1,000, which are photographed, described, and annotated. I would much rather be in collecting mode, but unfortunately, I have to admit, it's still very much in accumulating mode. And this is dangerous. We just get so much stuff. Nobody knows what it is. At some point, I can no longer be active on this. Then it's just a pile of junk. But if we've collected it properly, if it's filed, numbered, labeled, documented, identified, photographed on the net, then it's a collection which can be moved and stored and somebody else can take it. Yeah, the socks to show. So what is nothing special to me sometimes is clearly a soft material for you. So I don't really know, there's many people watching these streams now, some of which who have no experience, some who have lots. Anyway, it doesn't matter. As long as we get a good variety of stuff. I can't blow your socks off every day. I can hopefully bring you something interesting, and then every now and then there's a wow moment for all of us. So it's okay. We're doing well. Let's keep going. What's our time? Let's keep going. What spray adhesive do we use to glue the Gampi onto the printer paper? That's an easy one to answer because it's right here. And I think this is international. It's the 3M company. In Japanese, it's spray nori, but they have different levels. 55, I think in English it's what you call a low tack adhesive. In Japanese, it's a, what do they call it? Hagare yasui. It's easy to peel off. What does it say? Hatte hagaseru. Hatte hagaseru. You can take it off after you put it down. They have a 55, the 77, and a 99. 77, of course not. 99, my God, that'll glue my hand to the ceiling. That's what we use. But even with this one, if I overdo it, then the Gampi rips and tears as it peels off. So you just need a touch. You don't have the exact one, but there's got to be something similar. I know, absolutely, there must be something similar. What would you call it? Low tack spray adhesive? I don't know. It can't be just Japanese. I think it's a US product that this is now imported here or licensed here. I don't know. But the three numbers used to be 55, 77, and 99. And there are competing companies. Of course, other companies make a similar product. Just don't overdo it. Sharpen, sharpen, sharpen. We need to. We interrupt this program. Push in, pull, no, pull, push in, pull out. One day. One day. The knife is not broken, and we don't need to. We don't need a major sharpening, but we need to touch up the tip. Was that what they call it? Repositionable. Just to touch up. Taran-san, if Taran-san's watching, he's cringing, Taran-san has learned to do the sharpening the correct way. Taran-san puts the stone beside him and he works side by side like this, which once you've got it is really a better way of doing it. But boy, oh boy, it's difficult to get a hold of. And I didn't know about that when I was younger, and by the time I learned about that sharpening technique, I was whatever, 55 or something. So I thought about it carefully, tried it a few times, and thought about it and said, Dave, just stick with the way you know. It works well, you can do it well, you've trained yourself well. It's not the official old technique, but it's not your job to worry about that. So this is not the official technique for sharpening this knife. If you want that, you can see the Ito-san video I made has some scenes of Ito-san sharpening his knife that way. And Taran-san in his videos either has shown it or he certainly will be showing it. I think he mentioned it sometime a while ago that he will be doing a sharpening tutorial video. I'm not capable of doing that in the traditional way. You know. But this certainly works for me, absolutely. The biggest difference is doing it this way. It's very difficult if you're not experienced. It's very difficult to keep it flat. I'm using my, if we put it like this, I'm using my elbow. In other words, I'm doing this, and the geometry here helps basically keep my arm in a flat movement. But if you're not careful, you'll get a rocking up and down, up and down. I'm exaggerating it, and the blade ends up being curved. But I've got this now. I've been practicing it this way for 50 years or something, and I can keep it flat. The traditional way, putting it sideways, is you lock your hands, lock your elbows, and you move your body side by side. And you can see, too, that keeps the thing flat. And if you've got your stone in front of you on a flat surface like this, and you're sitting tight, and you keep side by side, and you're not rocking it like this, you're keeping it flat. So the traditional way does work for me because I've never practiced that. I don't do it that way. Look for Taran-san one day to put out a video explaining how it all works. And that stone we used was a rock-hard marble-type stone with no tooth whatsoever. It's just for the final polishing. That sharpening wasn't because of a dull blade or a broken blade. It just needed the edge. Where were we? There's something else on my list of things I was supposed to talk about today, and it's pool news. I don't know what I mentioned the other day or what I've talked about. I mentioned, of course, that I had adjusted my stroke in the pool. And by doing so, I probably contradicted stuff I had said before. You know, I'm not checking my time. I'm not competitive. I'm just in there for, you know, just to swim, get my exercise, which is all true. But as I said, how much did I talk about? I mentioned that I had been to a swimming website and that it had mentioned in that website something about adjusting your stroke. I know we must have talked about this. I think I had come back. When was it? Today's Thursday. So it must have been Monday, the show. The Monday stream must have been the first day after I had tried this. And what did I tell you? That she didn't pass me, I guess. Is that as far as the story got? I had taken so I didn't get overtaken. She didn't pass me. That's as it is. That was true and exactly right. But as it's happened, there had been occasions before when she didn't pass me. Maybe I had been on a really good day. Maybe she had been tired, whatever. There had been times before, once a month or so, quite rare, when she didn't pass me. And that's what happened on Monday. But realizing that there had been a big change, the next time I went to the pool, the next day, Tuesday, and then again Wednesday, and again today, I thought we could do something else. Usually, when I talk about this not letting her pass me, I come out of the showers. The women are always in the pool first. The men and women are separated in the lobby. We go in different doors, and always, me and a couple of other guys, we get changed fairly quickly and head out. But by the time we get to the pool deck, there's women in the water. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And because what they do is they wear their suits, these black Olympic type suits. They're clearly wearing them at home, and they come to the pool. They don't get changed. So they're, boom, clothes off, boom, jump in the pool. So they're there first. Anyway, the story, what I've been doing with my pace lady is, she's in the pool. So I stand by the edge and I waited because I know she's faster than me. So out of politeness, I don't get in when she's coming towards the deck. I wait till she gets to the deck and goes, and then I jump in and go after her because she's faster and she will then pull away from me. By doing it that way, it maximizes, it minimizes the chance of getting in her way. So the past 3 years we've been doing it this way. I wait till she gets there, turns, I put in. And then when I say she passes me once or twice or 3, or she didn't pass me, it's a literal lap. When she passes me once, it means she's actually now lapped me. I hear her coming behind, I stand up, let her go by, and away we go. That's been the pattern for 3 years. On Monday, when I realized that, wow, she didn't pass me, and not only didn't she pass me, I was kind of like holding my own. So on Tuesday, I tried something different. When I got to the pool deck, I didn't wait till she came to the deck and left and jumped in. I waited till she was at the other end, I jumped in, and boom, we are now swimming in the same lane from different ends. Now normally, over the past few years, that meant she would have passed me fairly quickly. Within 10 lengths or something, she would gain the 25 meters. But on Tuesday, not only did she not pass me, but at the end of my 40 laps, we were still crisscrossing in the middle of the pool. In other words, for the first time ever, I swam at the pace car lady's speed. I matched her speed. Length by length, we crisscrossed exactly on the red line in the middle of the pool. That was Tuesday. So when I got back after the session, had my shower, had the bath, got back here, logging my weight, it was 64 point whatever it was, 63 point whatever. I then thought, now what do I do? Because in my logbook, I've been writing 1, 2, 3, 0. I've been writing down how many times she passed me. I'm a data guy. I do this. But here we are now. I need a new symbol. So in my logbook on Tuesday, for the first time, I wrote not 1 or 0. I wrote equals. Equal sign meaning whatever. I matched her speed. So that was Tuesday and Wednesday and again today. But I'm happy with the fact that I'm better at that particular skill, but it feels like it's starting to get competitive. And I really, really, really do not want to do that. So I'm not sure what to do next. Somebody's got it. And I'm thinking, I'm swimming here thinking, what if she reads the same story? Believe me, I'm thinking about this actually, absolutely. Someone else, does she talk about you on her Twitch stream? You know, there's this dude and he's been slow. He's been polite because he always gets out of the way. He's really kind and polite. He makes sure I can swim smoothly. I hope this is what she's been thinking about me, you know. He's in there, he's slow, and it could be real trouble. If he didn't get out of the way, I would have to pass him. Oh my God. But he's a nice guy. He always gets out of the way when he knows I'm there. That's what I'm thinking she's been thinking about me, you know. But now she might think, holy crap, he's upped his game. Is he gonna now start like chasing me? You know, do I have to get out of his way? You know, or she hasn't even noticed this. I have no idea. You know, I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. Most of all, I do not want to disturb anything. It's working really well. I'm happy. The pool environment is friendly and cheerful. I do not want to disturb anything. And here I am. I'm classic for this. Davis, absolutely. All my life, I get this all the time. I do something that I think is just quietly sensible and normal, and it turns out that I have caused a problem with the people around me. I get this all the time. So that at the moment is my number one fear. I am just going to try and get this thing going stably, not make trouble, don't make waves. And the last thing I'm thinking about, absolutely, is upping my game more and, you know, dominating. I'm going to beat her. You know, there's no way, not in any way do I want to start that. So that's where we stand. I get a new symbol on my chart that says equals. And it feels good, you know. I mean, I can't lose. I'm laughing about this, but I'm probably double the age of almost everyone else who's swimming there in that pool, you know. So to sort of be able to do this and hold my own, I'm happy, you know. It's win-win for me, my God. There are older people in the pool, you know, in the morning. The guy sitting next to before we get in, he's older than me. But they walk. There's 2 courses at the other end of the pool, course number 6 and 7. They're for people walking. So that's where the old folks gather, and they dip into the pool and they walk back and forth, chitting-chatting as they go, you know. But in the swimming end, I'm way, way, way the oldest, absolutely. You know. Well, there is something else too on my list that I had meant to mention. It's a bit of a some little thing has come up that I hadn't foreseen when I started a particular action. It's a Dave's restaurant list. Remember, this is for the past few months, or when did I start it? A year ago? I can't remember. I made a little list here. People ask us in the shop, do you know of a place I can get lunch or whatever, stuff like this, you know. So different staff members here recommend different places. And I had my own list of recommendations, and as we've talked about here before on the stream, just recently actually, I made Dave's restaurant choice list, and I've actually published it. It's a paper here in the shop to put out, and it's also on our webpage. And somebody, we talked about it, made a Google and a playlist about it on Google Maps, whatever. I had a bit of a strange experience about a week ago. Sadako was here Saturday late, and we went for dinner Saturday night before she went home. And we had planned to go somewhere. We got there, and it looked open. We went inside, and the guy says, "Yeah, come in, study, no problem." And he said, "You have a reservation, of course?" And I said, "Well, actually, no." And he said, "Oh, well, in that case, I'm sorry, monsieur. I know there's no chance for you tonight." And he ushered us out. And I also asked, what if it was a weekday? Can we come? He said, no reservations, no chance. So boom, we're out on the street. Now it's Saturday night, and places are crowded in Sadako, and I just wanted a quiet dinner. So I thought, I get an idea. Let's go to one of the places on Dave's restaurant list. So we walk over to Shin Nakamise, the arcade here that's full of shops and restaurants and whatever. And we go into a place, I'm not going to give you the name, we go into one of the places on my restaurant list. It's a sushi place. And I had really become quite enamored with it. If Jacques is listening tonight, or if he hears this through the VOD, Jacques will recognize the place. And Tom from Germany, the conductor from Germany. Also, I think we went there one day. There's an email from him. Oh my God, I haven't replied yet. Long email. Anyway, so the sushi place that Dave liked. The guy was friendly. It was a new business. He'd done years of apprenticeship somewhere else, getting beaten up and whatever. And finally, he'd opened his own place. And he had his ideas about how it should be done. The food was nice. He was chatty. And the menu was easily understandable. So I put it clearly bang onto my restaurant list with no hesitation. So we go there on Saturday night with Sadako, and we go in there. It's big crowded. He recognizes me. Oh wow, yeah, come on in. And he had one of his girls make space, and where we sat down there, and it's busy. He's buzzing. He's now got 2-3 assistants. He was there before by himself. But clearly the joint is jumping. And he's now got a bunch of assistants. One guy who is slicing fish, maybe the new young sushi master of the future, and then 2 young girls. But, we grab the menu, and it's like, it's not the same menu. Now that's okay. People upgrade menus, but this is not the same menu. It's not even close to being the same menu. He's gone all in. If I'm being sarcastic and cynical, he wants to be the next Jiro. What he's done is there's no more set stuff. Like before, I used to get a chirashi sushi, which is a bowl of rice, lightly vinegared rice with the different selection of fish on top. Really nice. It's easier than ordering one by one, this or that, blah, blah, blah. That stuff is gone. No more easy to order stuff. No more plate selections. No more donburi selections. No more nothing. It's now the raw, real deal. You get a menu, an indecipherable hand calligraphy menu. He's either studied calligraphy himself or he's gone to a specialist calligrapher. And all these fish names are done with their kanji, which I certainly can't read. And Sadako, she could read most of them, but there was stuff there that, like, the calligraphy was finessed and like, give me a break. And then he puts a slip of paper on and asks us, the girl came, puts a slip of paper, write down what you want. And like there's 2 of us sitting there, so Sadako wrote the word maguro, for example, and something and something. The girl came back, no, please put the price. Like on the menu, it's got maguro, 348 yen. Okay, so Sadako did as she's told. She wrote maguro, 348 yen. We started with 4 or 5, and the girl took it away. And it turned out that when she wrote the word maguro, 348 yen, it meant one. That's it. And there was two of us, and normally when you order, you know, give me maguro, whatever, the guy will make 2 pieces or sometimes 3 or whatever. So he's gone elite, upscale, one delicacy by one, little half bite-sized delicacy, one by one, eat and weep at the taste. So he's coming off my restaurant list, absolutely coming off my restaurant list. Now at the moment as we speak, he's still there, so don't look at my restaurant list today. It's nothing else, whatever. The taste, I'm sure the taste is supreme. I can't tell the difference, I don't know. A tasty piece of fish is a tasty piece of fish. I would only recognize it if it was grotesquely something wrong, you know. I can't tell the difference between A rank and top A rank and triple A rank. I'm not in that league. So maybe it was really, really tasty. It's not the kind of place that I would like to go for a comfortable meal with myself, with friends, whatever. And the menu is incomprehensible to anybody who doesn't understand the arcane world of sushi. So he's coming off, and that means now, I hadn't realized this, but that restaurant list of mine is clearly going to need maintenance. I hadn't really thought about that when I published it. Hey friends, here's a light little list, some places Dave likes. If somebody went in there yesterday, Dave is recommending this. Boy, oh boy, I didn't realize Dave was kind of this pretentious, you know. So that restaurant list is going to need editing. And I guess some of the places I do go to all the time. Sumida River Kitchen, I was there 2 nights ago. It was really nice, no problems. He's staying on the list, no sweat. Kebom, I've been there relatively many times, no problem there. The Vietnamese place, I can't remember how to pronounce it, they're fine. Lux Burger, he's coming off. He's also gone upscale. He's gone big plates with a dribble of sauce. It's a burger joint. So 2 of them are coming off my list, Lux Burger and Edomaru Sushi. So I've got to hunt up some more places to replace them. I didn't realize it, but I guess I'm in the review business. I don't know. Vivid KP's got recommendations? Yes. Actually, I have a couple of other sushi places I'm very fond of, so replacing the sushi place is not going to be a problem for me. Yeah, the iPhone thing. Oh my God, the iPhone thing. The phone menu, just don't get me started. Don't get me started on the menu thing. Oh my God. Remember, you're talking to a guy here who doesn't have a smartphone. So when we go in a restaurant and I see the QR code sitting on the table, here we go. Is there anybody who likes that system? Anybody? What beautiful wood this is. Oh, yo, 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 yo. You can see it, show this beautiful yellow, smooth and clean, these curves. I can go through that. Those explosion lines are coming off, so I can just go straight through here. Yeah, that doesn't connect, so this I can just come straight through here. Oh, am I on? Off camera? Am I moving? What's going on? Nanda, sorry. What's going on? Has the camera been slowly sinking? Too much the talk, not enough the work. I'm sorry. So what happened? The camera was sinking, was it? Bit by bit by bit? Seems strong now. Chair buzzer, nay. What should we do about that? Should we seriously think of something like that? Should I start keeping the shop telephone beside me when I work, and one of the mods could have access to my secret phone number or something? Does that make sense? I don't know. At the moment, there is no phone right here. The shop phone is upstairs. It lives downstairs on the weekends. But there's no phone in the room here for people to phone me with. My computer is checking email every 5 minutes, so that's no big deal. We could set up an email alert. We used to use those actually, but it's only on a 5-minute check, so that's not so much of a help. I could arrange a different way of reading chat, make a heads-up display in this scope or something, but I really, really don't want to do that. So I don't know. I think it's not so much of a tragedy. It doesn't happen very often. Or, I could just, like pay more attention. The old days, remember when Cameron used to sit in? He used to come to work at 9 o'clock or so. So for the last half an hour of the streams, Cameron used to sit in. That worked well, He was personable. He could read the chat, ask questions. There was conversation. Those were good times. Haven't had much contact with him. Last I chatted with him, he had a good job. He was living in Ohio. Had a job with a company in the video game industry, because he spoke and read Japanese, so he was involved in, I think, what do you call it, when a localization of video games for the American market. Somewhere in Ohio he was living. It was good. He was looking well here those days. I remember too, the year Cameron came, we'll be talking about this, perhaps in the next stream. There's a news update that I had mentioned is coming along, a fairly extensive news update. It's too soon for it today, but coming in one of the upcoming streams. And Cameron will be mentioned in there because it goes back to the days when he joined us. Back in 2017, strangest, most bizarre year of my life. The year also that we started these Twitch streams. That was, I believe, the summer of 2017. Is the camera sinking still? Bit by bit by bit, is it dropping down? Is that what's happening? It's hard to tell because I keep rotating the block, so the frame of reference disappears. Coringams, is he working with Square Enix? I don't know the company he's working with. I'm sorry. I know it wasn't something that he wanted public at the time. So I don't know, actually. He may have never even mentioned it to me. I don't remember. It's some kind of company in the video game industry, and he was working on localizations to some extent, back and forth, either American video games being sent to Japan or Japanese games coming into the American market. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to gauge if the camera's moving. It seems stable. Thinking about that alert system, there might be a way to do it easily through Skype. I know I have Skype on my machine running all the time. And on Skype, there's I forget what it's called. It's like group conversations or something. And myself and my two daughters, years and years ago, they set this up. They wanted to try and keep track of me or something. They set up something on Skype that was two girls and daddy. I think one of them set up something. Where is it? Chats and channels and whatever. Contacts. And they set it up. It's something with two, and every time they put something in there, it bings, it makes a noise. If one of my daughters puts a chat comment in there or sends a photograph or something, it makes a noise for me instantly when it happens. And I can then go to Skype and see their message. Hi, Dad, how you doing? Look at this picture of your grandchild, or something like this. So that's a way for instant contact. Something says you can install something on stream that will let us play a sound. But I'm not streaming. I'm here on OBS. I don't have the stream playing. You can install something on stream that will let us play a sound. You will hear it through OBS. Okay, well, let me know more. I know somebody's saying the meow for the omihake sense. That's fine. That's my mail check. Checking and finding a certain mail. We did this before for Twitch, but my mail check is only happening once every 5 minutes. I could turn it up to once per minute, but it's not instantaneous. I'm not on a phone. I'm on a computer checking mail. So the idea about doing this through mail doesn't give us instant contact. But Skype, I think, it certainly works like that. Whenever one of my daughters puts a message in, I hear an alert sound instantly in the background. I think the camera's still syncing, I think. Positive energy to get through the day. Thank you, whatever. What about a laser pointer to track the center of the camera viewpoint? I know that was something under consideration earlier, and actually in the years before I got the microscope, already my eyes were slipping. This was when I was making these Surimono albums. And I experimented actually, before I got the scope, I experimented with the idea of having a camera on the work, running a feed to a monitor, and Dave would look at the monitor. And I tried this when I lived back in Ome. This would be about the year, I don't know, 2000, somewhere around there. I put a stand, I rigged it up, and the camera was looking down straight past my head. I kept getting my head in the way and trying to remember to pull back. And the camera looked straight down the way I used to, and fed a monitor, which was in front of me. So I tried to train myself to sit here carving like this, looking at the monitor, and the camera looking down. And it sort of worked. Not really comfortably and smoothly. And it could have been something if I had trained and practiced and done more, whatever. But as part of that, of course, as soon as I started to spin the block and move the block, it became out of the camera, off the camera spot or out of focus, whatever. So the idea was, I didn't do this, but the idea would have been to have some kind of laser pointer, putting a red dot or something, which pointed right down at the hot spot we wanted, and the camera could learn to focus on that hot spot. And that was the thing that I was thinking about developing and building when I met a Ukrainian friend, Slav Varokov. He was here in Tokyo at the time. He'd been working in New York for Van Cleef and Arpels. And he was over in Tokyo at their Tokyo office. Either he'd been posted here or he was visiting here. I don't remember which. Then he was a jewelry designer for that company. And he had written an email, "Hi David, I'd like to meet you. Can I come out to Ome," whatever. And I did. He came out to visit in Ome at the time. This is the year maybe 2000. 2003, 4, 5, somewhere around there, I don't know. Really super nice guy. Vyacheslav Varlakov is his full name. We call him Slav now. He's still in Japan now. He's living in Okinawa with his family, his Japanese wife and family. And he no longer works for Van Cleef & Arpels. He went independent a long time ago. He works now as a jewelry designer for different companies here in Tokyo, I think. He may have his own company as well. I don't know the background. Anyway, he had seen this experiment of mine, laughed about it, and said, you don't need to do that, just get a microscope. And Dave, idiot Dave, who knows everything, said, look, I'm sorry, Slav, you don't understand. We can't use a microscope because I need to put my hands on the work. There's no microscope in the world that will let me put my hands in, because I was thinking, you know, medical microscopes, you put the lens in and you've got like a 1 millimeter slot there. And he would have been polite, but he said, you don't know what you're talking about. And whatever, he explained to me that there's this thing called a stereo microscope. I guess while he was here that day, we Googled whatever. And I'm like, no way, is this really possible? And he says, yes way, this is what I use in my work every day, making jewelry. I can tell you it works. So we Googled around and we found one on eBay that very afternoon. I'm like, Slav, will this work? He says, it works, trust me. So I bid on it. It was a company in Texas, NCR, National Cash Register, had gone out of business and they were selling off stuff from their factory in Texas on eBay. I bid for it, won it. A few weeks later, came in, and here we are. The rest is his story, history. So it's Slav Varlakov, who taught me about this. But like I said, before he came, I had been thinking about a tracking system so that the camera focus could track where my hands are. How are we? About halfway through. It's 9:14. We're halfway through, not. Nanda. Okay, let me try and finish this corner. I know other people doing similar work to me do use these microscopes. I know a friend, acquaintance, Ford Hallam, who works making things like Japanese sword fittings and things like that in metal. He uses the same scope that I've got, a Meiji EMZ. And he's got it on a big arm stand, so he sits out of the way, he pulls it forward. And he uses this scope as well. So without it, whatever, we're toast. Old guys like us, we're toast. If someone's just getting into woodblock printmaking, I wouldn't suggest you even think about a microscope. My God, just chop wood and make prints, you know. But for Dave's level here, Dave's level of detail and Dave's age, that combination means I need help. So here we are. If I were younger, should I be using this? That's an open question. I don't know. Taran-san and I wouldn't ever in any way recommend this to Taran-san. But I don't know. Maybe he thinks it might be necessary for him in order to catch Dave's level of work or something. I don't know. I hope he puts it off for a while. Maybe he can inherit this one or something. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Good. We are coming along. We are very much coming along. Very happy with the work. It's going well, it looks good, I'm carving well, and we're making progress. What's not to like? And again, for those of you who don't know, this piece of wood absolutely cannot be left on my desk when I'm not working. This room, I've got light air conditioner on now. Later in the day, the girls are going to come in. They're going to crank the air conditioner way cold. If that block sat on the desk all day long, unattended, it would split. Never leave a wood block in an area where there's air conditioning happening. Don't leave it sitting on a flat desk face up, or you're going to lose it. Okay. What did I do with it? Oh, yes. I think at the beginning I said there's an unusual little aspect to this story, and the unusual aspect is Dave not yesterday, what day did we go? Tuesday, our shop was closed. Dave went shopping in Jimbocho. My God, the first time in how many years? Literally, I have no idea how long it's been since I went shopping for woodblock prints in Jimbocho. I got a print from Yamada Shoten. I used to be one of their best customers. We're talking, I can't say best customer. I used to be a regular customer there. I think best customers for them are the people that spend $1 million yen at a time. Now, that wasn't ever my level. But I used to be a regular small-scale customer there. Let's put it that way. We're talking the 1990s when I was selling the heroes, not the heroes prints, the poets prints, and trying to increase my skill with no teacher. So I started haunting the shops, trying to buy prints and find prints where I could learn from. The problem was, of course, all the really good ones were way expensive for me. So I couldn't buy big time expensive stuff. But I built bits and pieces of my collection. So I used to be a regular collector there. I went in there on Tuesday. The girl remembers me. She remembers my name, Dave. She remembers my daughter's name, because I used to go in there with my daughter Fumi and buy prints, which my daughter would then sell on eBay. So it was really happy to be recognized. Anyway, I'm in there looking at stuff, just casually looking at stuff. And I open a big drawer, and this triptych is in there. And I could not believe, oh my God. Okay, I can't show it to you all at once. It's a triptych. It's 3 prints together. There's a right hand. You can see how this works. There's a right hand print, a middle print, and the left one actually is isolated. It doesn't really connect to the other ones. It is all one thing. And it's from a print series. The print is late 1800s. It'll be 1890 something. I don't know the date. And it's called, the series is called Hana Moyo. And it's by Kiyochika. What's his first name? Kiyochika. I can't remember his first name. Kobayashi Kiyochika. And it's a triptych. And do you recognize it? This is now a challenge for people in the chat here. Why did Dave buy this on Tuesday? Why did I buy this? Why did I go, oh my God, when I saw it in the drawer and when I saw the price, which was only 12,000 yen. This print normally, a triptych like this in nice condition would be 80,000 yen minimum. It was only 12,000 yen because it is in very bad condition. It is stained, it's beaten up, it's been folded, it's been pounded, there's crap all over it, and I don't care. Nobody recognizes why I thought this was so special. Really, I thought there would be a link here 10 times. You disappoint me. You disappoint me. Nothing to do with the poets. Nothing to do with the poets. The poets are on here. We have Ononokomachi and stuff like that. That's a good guess, actually. That's a good guess. She has poets on her kimono. So, okay. No. It's my... I reproduced it. I reproduced it. This is my Mystique of the Japanese print series, and yes, I stole the head. I took a trim of the original print here. Here's the original. To put it up on the other screen, here's the original Oban print, and Dave took a clip of part of it and reproduced it. I guess mine is not quite half size. Mine's maybe about 60%. I don't know. And of course, the obvious question now is, I've never had the original. I took, for making this, I just used a book illustration that was somewhere. I think the Kodansha encyclopedia I have has this. So I have never actually had a chance to do what we're about to do, a side-by-side comparison. Look at the camera, it's sinking, you know. Interesting too, I didn't realize this. They've done a much better job of the gradation at the side of the hair. Dave clearly, I pulled mine farther back. According to them, my gradation could have come farther forward. I kept it a bit too far back. They've brought their gradation farther forward. But give me a break, you know, they're working on a bigger block, and it is easier to make a gradation wider like this. Dave is working at a very small scale. So in retrospect, pulling my gradation farther forward. Also, the way that I've cut this compared to theirs, there's no way. I must have been copying a different original, because theirs, you can't even see those things. And the only way I would have cut them is if I'd had a version. Oh, here they are. On this version, look at this. They're in Shomenzuri on this version. Do you see it? So here, those white lines on mine, they're just actually Shomenzuri. So the copy I had to copy from must have been either photographed a different way, and I thought they were chopped out of the block, not Shomenzuri. Oh well, so count one down for me. But again, I didn't have this at the time. How about our transparency? Here's the comb with a transparent effect. Well, they've done okay. Where's mine? Oh, I think, you know, I'm not going to complain about that at all. I think my version has got beautiful transparency effect. Yeah, I'll hold my own. Yeah. How about the eyes? Let's go have a look at the eyes. Where are we? Overall, I've used, oh, look at that, it's a little bit different. Well, I've got pupils. He doesn't have pupils. Nanda! What a cheat. He didn't bother putting pupils in. Mine have pupils. You know, I'm not ashamed of this work at all. Absolutely at all. What I would like, his gray, the key block gray, really is nice gray. Dave's, in retrospect, is too black. I was still, you know, I was still learning, and, you know, look at this, the key block gray. Mine is still too black. These days it's not like that, because I'm bugging our printers all the time. Not black, not black. You can see the same thing. When you look at the overall density, there's his hairlines, there's my lines. My lines show as too black because they're printed too black. Can we zoom in closer? Well, good morning. Udagawa-san's here. Good morning. Yeah, his is softer, absolutely softer. I've got no, I'm okay. In fact, let's see. The carver Dave has done his job. The printer Dave has not got the right subtlety here. Carving Dave has done his job. Remember, mine's a smaller scale too, you know. No, someone's asking, are the old blocks very worn? No, I don't think so. Nobody can complain about wear and tear on here. The printer has done a masterful job. You know, the carver has done his job first, and then the printer has come along and been beautifully, beautifully subtle. I mean, we've still got these blocks. You know, if I'm not about to drag them out and try printing this again right now. But if we put this back in, absolutely a bit of a more subtle approach, more gray on the key block. This black is a separate block, so there's no problem there. This black, in fact, I think I've done better on this than his. If we zoom out a bit, I think they've done a nice subtle job on that, but they've missed density here. And I think the density down here, I'm going to be, okay. And how about the poem? Let's see. Can I get this? Also, I'm not ashamed of what I've done here too. They have not been really careful with the calligraphy here. They've cut it, but the guy has cut it knowing that it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. Dave has cut this quite a bit more carefully. Yeah. Nothing to be ashamed of here at this corner whatsoever. I paid more attention to the details of the characters than he did. Nay, his is rougher and blotchier. Not careful work at all, but give me the scale, of course. So I'm okay on this. I've done a good job on this. So funny, you know, when you think about it, and this does match with my own image of myself. All these years that I've been doing this, I've done both. I've done carving and I've done printing, because in order to sell prints, you have to do both. But which do I like best? What do I really think of myself as? Well, I mean, look what I'm doing now. You know, I'm a carver these days. I don't do any printing these days. It also, when you look at the traditional guys, the age, printers gave up. They ran till 55, 60. It's rare to find a printer really active after 60, 65. The work is really, really demanding. But carvers, they simply go till they drop. Ito-san was 87 or something, 86. Ogurahambe-san, he pushed 90. The first Ogurahambe, the older one, the one who died of jaw cancer, he must have been 90, 87 or 90, somewhere on there. Carvers just roll on, because obviously it's not a massive physical job. Am I a carver or am I a printer? Well, back in the old days, I was a better carver than I was a printer, and I guess that probably still holds true. I can do it. I could do it, and I can do it, but which is the inherent skill? I guess that's it. It's carving. There we are. Okay, we've run out our time. It's the hot, cold towels out there. It's Thursday. I'll be back. Oh, what's this? What's this? Sensei margin. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this, okay? We're asking for a raid. Do I remember how to do this? No. Can you give me a reminder? It's /raid. Okay, I'll try this. /raid, sensei margin, and it's case sensitive, right? Whatever. I'll be back. 2 days, Saturday, more carving still to go. Oh, it is setting it up. Okay, here we go. It's counting down. 5, 4, 3. It's counting down. 648 people. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in a couple of days on Tuesday. Let's go see how Jason is doing. Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Good morning, Dixon.
Just a minute. I got to stop my own. We're still streaming. I've got to stop mine too. Let's go.